Los Pumas get the job done in Wellington. Holy, 38-30. They've won in New Zealand before. They did it again. What an absolute game by the Argentinians, led by Pablo Matera. Spirited, passionate, played with so much heart. And what a game, what a win for the Argentinians. The All Blacks, on the other hand, not their finest performances. Problems at lineouts again. Problems in the contact area. But credit goes to the Los Pumas. What a game. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought. Who played well, who didn't. Oh, man. Where do I even start? Let me know what you guys thought of the game in the comments. Let's get into it. We'll stick on the All Blacks. Oh, man, not the best. Like I said, contact areas and lineouts, a big problem. The lineouts I thought were good at the start initially, but when the changes were made, especially the front row changes, so lineouts are so far more like, yes, we know what he can do with ball in hand, strong carrier, but his lineout throws were poor, very, very poor. The front row that come on got penalised a couple of times in the scrums where that wasn't happening when the starting front row were playing. So that's contact areas, that's a problem. And then rucks was a problem. Again, when substitutes were made, I thought Argentina, yes, they brought on a lot of experience. Augustin Creevy and Lavanini. Lavanini did really well in the lineouts to disrupt in that regard, and Creevy did well at ruck time to disrupt. But I thought throughout the game, Matera, Marcus Crema, those guys are just getting stuck in to the physical stuff. I said in the preview, it was contact area was going to be one of the facet or parts of the game where it's going to be won or lost, and Argentinians just kept coming in that regard. It was another point that I brought up was like, can they play the full 80 minutes? And I was watching this game thinking, okay, they've played at their high revs. Argentina have for most of this game. It's got to the 60-minute mark, the 70-minute mark. I'm like, are they going to drop off? And they just didn't. Holy, they didn't at all. Before I'm mistaken anything there, it was only the 60th minute mark where they had their first scrum. That's wild. So there wasn't any scrums beforehand. So by the time the subs did come on, and that's when the first scrums were being had, and that's where the All Blacks were getting penalised quite often there. So that's definitely something to look at. I thought they did show attacking intent early on, going for the line out instead of kicking penalty kicks. They did miss a couple opportunities there. Several Reese got tackled out. They played down the touchline, and he got down the touchline, threw the ball in, but it was tackled out. Then there's one opportunity too where Argentina ended up intercepting it, but then they got called back for a penalty, which then Ardie Sevilla did get Damien McKenzie to hit over a couple of penalties just to keep that scoreboard ticking over. And it's probably credit to Argentina as well, how strong they were in their defense. And because they were, holy, you have to give them credit. I always credit where credit's due, man. These Argentinians physically up for this game. They were emotionally up for it, spirited, passionate, all those things, those cool touch or those cool clicky words that I used before in the preview that most people use to describe this Argentinian squad. They really lived up to that. Sam Darry's try, oh man, beautiful. The turnover. What I love, when you can see what good teams, when they do turn the ball over, is shifting that point of contact. So you turn the ball over on this side of the field, this is where the space is. So they turned the ball over here, they shifted that ball early. D-Mac got you, and then getting the ball into the hands of your playmakers, those option takers. They know, what should we do here? Should we kick? Should we pass? Can I go myself? D-Mac got it, looked up, saw where the space was. Little chip kick over, played Barrett. Barrett, huge banana kick. I think he kicked it off his left foot. No, man, it might have been his right. Massive banana kick, bounced up, and Darry scores his first try for the All Blacks. Get out. What a try. It had everything in it. It's fantastic to watch. What I did love about Anton Leonard-Brown's try was the build-up, the patience in attack, the pick and drives coming around the corner, just sticking to what they know, sticking to okay, we might not be getting far with this, but we just keep going with patience in attack and D-Mac calling the ball out at the right time, holding that ball up. Anton Leonard, I said in the preview, that link up that they'll have, the chemistry they have, Anton Leonard Brown, the last little movement, drift off the ball before catching the ball, slide off, ball, gets the ball, boom, and goes over untouched. I love the little drift before you catch the ball and always catches the defender out. If you've got someone that's passing nicely, can pass that ball just out in front and you can move and beat the defender without catching the ball or before you catch the ball. It's beautiful. It looks great too. And in the second half, with Talia's try, great absorbing of pressure, but great. And I said it again, I'm referring back to my preview. I said it in the preview. All Blacks set their attack shape beautifully off a line out. So if you can get a good line out, good first phase, this is how this happens. It was 11 phases after that where Talia scored. They had the line out. Anton Leonard Brown off the line out. Beautiful set that first phase. So he's over that vantage line. Makes it so much easier for their forwards to come around. And they were just pick and goes off that, or off Perinado, or Ratima might have been on the field already by then. But it was just going forward. And when you're off the first phase, you're over that vantage line, that first phase, right? The defense, it's so hard for them to get back on side, set, and then apply pressure, like getting up off the line. You're retreating every time, so that you're getting tackled behind that vantage line. Sorry, as a defense, yeah, you're tackling the opponent behind that vantage line. That means the offside line goes backwards. That means the rest of your team has to move backwards. While you're doing that, the attacking side is coming around the corner and they're running onto the ball. You haven't set yet. You have to try and push up to make a strong tackle again. And it's just backwards, backwards, backwards. And what Anton Leonard Brown did well to set up Mark Talia's try here was getting over that vantage line for that first phase. And it set it up. It makes it so much easier going forward from that. First scrum, like I said, first scrum in the 60th minute. That is wild. That must be a record. Someone out there, check that. That must be a record. I thought the All Blacks did look lost a few times in attack, kind of one-out runners. Mark Talia getting the ball behind the ruck and then like trying to dance his way out of it. Yes, he does that a lot of the times and he does really well with it. But it just looked like, oh, here, you do something with the ball sometimes. Like I said, lineouts were an absolute shambles. Bad throws, and not just bad throws, but it must be a lack of communication somewhere there, because I'm always not just going to throw bad throws each time. There's 3 lineouts I think he got horribly wrong. So some things to be worked on there. My standouts, Anton Leonard Brown, great off first phase, getting over that vantage line, a couple of line breaks as well. Great try and solid on defense. He had 1 try, 7 carries, 3 defenders beaten. And then I thought Artie Severe tried his absolute dick off. Ton of carries, always taking 2 or 3 RGs with him. And he was immense. 19 carries, 4 defenders beaten, 10 tackles and 2 turnovers. Huge effort from the All Blacks captain there. Going over to the Argentinians, the Los Pumas, come out firing, man, and stayed firing for the full 80 minutes. Great execution on everything, on whenever they had the ball, on defense most of the time, because a lot of the times All Blacks had the ball. But Argentinia's passion and determination, grit, relentless, ruthless, like all of those big words, that's what they were on defense. They took that, every man took his role on defense personally. Was getting up off that line, making strong tackles, being pests at ruck, getting up and going again, like second efforts. And they really, really nailed this game, man. They come out firing and, like I said, stayed firing the whole game. I had question marks around, yes, I knew they were going to be spirited. They were going to be emotional. They were going to be passionate. Can they do that for the whole 80 minutes? They answered that. They definitely can. What I thought was lovely for Lucio's try was that defense turned into attack. So absorbing the pressure on defense, turning their ball over at a ruck, but then knowing what to do with it then. They turned it over here, they shift the ball on attack then. Defense here, turn it over, shift the ball. This is where the space is. They shift the ball. I think Matera hold the ball up nicely. Bro, they straightened the line, and Lucio ended up scoring. It's beautiful. What I thought they did well as well, it was definitely a tactic, was off kickoffs. They were kicking the ball really deep, and it was very well executed. Pinpoint kickoffs, deep. The wingers were putting All Blacks wingers under pressure there, tackling them right in the corner. And then what they were doing was putting TJ Perenara under a ton of pressure for his box. He was trying to box kick to clear, and they charged him down a couple times. And even before that, like making those tackles in the corner, did really well. It makes it hard for the team with ball in hand that having to exit. It makes them hard. They've got no angle to work with, or they really like just bunched in that corner, and you're right down on your try line. You can't. There's not many players that can clear that far or out from there. So smart from the RGs to pin them down in those corners and make it really hard for them to get out. Man, they were first to score in the second half. Great, that line-out variation. I'm loving the little changes. So they had the guy go up. He was the dummy. They just threw it straight to the front. And that guy, he went over. So Molina went over. And it was his first try, I'm pretty sure, for Los Pumas. Beautiful. The dummy. All Blacks were set on the guy that went up. Set here. They threw it to the front, and he went over and scored. Beautiful. I thought the substitutes that came on for Argentina made a huge difference. There was Contepomi who said that he rested some of these guys out in the French and Uruguay games, brought them in fresh. So it's like Augustin Creevy and Lavanini, when they came on, made a world of difference. Creevy, I think he made 2 turnovers straight up. He scored a try as well. And then Lavanini was just being a pest at lineouts. He knew the All Blacks line-out was there. There was a big question mark around that, very inexperienced locks. And Lavanini come on in that last 20, 30 minutes and just caused chaos in that regard. And it showed, man. It showed. Argentina did it again. Holy. My standouts, Pablo Matera. Such a beast, man. His work rate is through the roof on both sides of the ball. Loves to carry. Loves a tackle. And just leads by example, man. 20 carries, 11 tackles, and 1 turnover. And like Creevy said, they haven't done it before. Let's go 2 in a row, baby. Eden Park next weekend. Let's go. It's going to be a huge game. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the game. Who was your man of the match? Who played well? Who didn't? What needs to change for the All Blacks? What changes do they need to make? What do they need to work on? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.